Hey, so what I'm about to show you is how easy it is to use the pulp that you've made from your slow juicer and turn it into some delicious treats. So in this video, I'm going to quickly show you how to make zucchini bread, essentially. You can do this as a gluten-free version, an alkaline version, or just a standard version. Today we're going to be doing an alkaline version. So we're using raw wholemeal spelt flour, and that's it. So guys, let's get straight into this. Essentially what you're going to do is, the first step is to combine all your dry ingredients in a bowl. So that's your flours, your baking powder, your salt, your cinnamon, and your sugar. Now, because we're going alkaline, we don't really want to be using heaps of sugar. There's no need to add that to this recipe. Instead, we're going to be using stevia extract. So we're just going to measure that all out, chuck it all in, and mix it up. So first up, we've got the flour. We've got 1.5 cups of flour. Now, this is one of those recipes where you don't need to be 100% exact. It's not a fiddly recipe. It's a really simple recipe that you can make with your kids. Just something super healthy and versatile. So that's our flour. We've got our baking powder. We've got our cinnamon. Now this does use a whole teaspoon of cinnamon. We use the Dutch cinnamon. It gives it a bit of a sweeter flavour than some of the really dark cinnamons on the market. Our salt. 1/4 teaspoon of salt, guys, honestly, is about 2 twists with a normal grinder. As far as the sugar, we're going to substitute 1/2 cup of sugar with 1/2 teaspoon of stevia extract. Actually, we'll start with 1/4 teaspoon of stevia extract and go from there. So that's 1 teaspoon. From experience, I think we need a bit more than that, guys, so we're going to go to a whole teaspoon in total. Basically, if you're not sure what stevia is, it's a great natural sweetener. It's the extract of a leaf. It's basically an alternative to the artificial sweeteners such as Equal and Splendor. I really recommend you grab some. Now that's all of our dry ingredients. Just give them a quick whisk up so they're all combined. Now we'll just put that aside for a minute, and in another medium-sized mixing bowl, we're going to mix together basically the rest of our ingredients. So we've got 1 grated zucchini, which is going to go in there. We've also got the pulp from the juice we made earlier. So this is carrot, broccoli, spinach, and apple pulp. It essentially turns out like a fine, desiccated fruit, essentially. It's going to add heaps of flavour as well as heaps of nutrients to your meal. So we'll chuck them together. The recipe says 2 eggs. We're going to substitute it with 4 egg whites, just so we get rid of all the nasties and the fats of the egg yolk, which you don't really need to add to your body. Add the vanilla, which is a whole teaspoon. And lastly, the oil. Now it says 6 tablespoons of cooking oil. We're just going to use olive oil. It's what we've got around. Okay, that's the oil all in there, guys. Now, basically we just stir this all together, mix it up until you end up with a nice thick paste. This is what's going to really provide the moisture to the dish, as well as a lot of texture, a lot of flavour, a lot of nutrients. And it also really helps to keep it as a light sort of dish. So now we've got our moist, and our dry. Just add your moist mix to your dry and give it a really good stir. Now we're after quite a moist texture here, so if for any reason your mixture is not wet enough, just add some extra water to it to bind it all together nicely. Water is really something by eye. Ultimately, it depends on how juicy your zucchini was. Ours wasn't super juicy today. A little bit more. And that's the batter. So we're going to place that into a baking dish and put it into a preheated 170 degrees Celsius oven for 50 to 60 minutes. And then we'll pull it out and see how it goes. So to spread it out nice and evenly, I like to line the dish with baking paper, just so it doesn't stick. I guess we'll just chuck that in the oven, pull it out in an hour's time, and we'll see how it goes then. Switch off now.